it's me again, not your regular vegan Amelia, and I am here this week to show you guys how I turned one of my favorite pasta dishes into a vegan dish. But first, let's check out my Christmas decorations. I love the holidays. Last year I didn't put up any decorations. I probably put maybe a wreath on my door, but that was it. This year I decided to go ahead and deck the halls, so I'm excited about my little Christmas decorations, from the wreaths, from the tree, and the little stockings on the fireplace. I'm just so joyous and so excited about the holiday season. But anyway, back to why we're here. We are here so you guys can see how I turned one of my favorite pasta dishes into a vegan pasta dish. Now, I used to use crab meat or chicken in this pasta dish. So it was like a lemon chicken or a lemon crab pasta dish, which is really, really good. It was one of my absolute favorites. So how did I turn that into a vegan dish? Well, the first thing I need to do is obviously substitute the meat, right? The meat. So what did I use to substitute the meat? I used this awesome little thing up here called an artichoke. And the artichoke it's a flower. And you eat the flower parts of it. So you kind of like crack it open and you eat the little flower parts in it. And it has a texture similar to crab meat or chicken, depending on how you cook it. And so it's really good. So one of the things I always get asked about being a vegan is, Amelia, how do you get your protein? Well, first of all, people, let me say that meat and meat products are not the only way to get good sources of protein. Actually, really green vegetables such as your leafy greens such as spinach and kale and collards and all those things, legumes like nuts, all those things have really good sources of protein in it. And the artichoke is one of those things that has a really good source of protein. You can get about 4 grams of protein per serving in an artichoke. Now, there's something to note that being a vegan is that you don't become protein deficient. You know, who really becomes protein deficient? Our bodies are making protein all the time. We usually have the right amount of protein in anything that we eat. It doesn't have to be a meat source. Now, unless you're like a bodybuilder or something, you don't need to take in like loads and loads and loads of protein. And like I said, an artichoke is a really good source of protein. It has about 4 grams per serving. And so what I use to substitute my crab meat, or what I would usually use chicken, is the artichoke. Now, for this recipe, I actually used an artichoke that was already marinated. I got it from my local grocery store. It's seasoned really well with olive oil and garlic and nice, really good spices that gives it a really good taste, and it also gives it a really good texture if you're looking for the crab meat texture or the chicken texture you want. So if you want to know the brand or where I got my marinated artichoke from, just check out the description below, and I will be sure to post it there. So if you guys would like to know how I turned one of my favorite pasta dishes into a totally good, totally vegan pasta dish, please stay tuned. If you like the videos, go ahead and subscribe and hit that like button. And if you're ready, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure I have my ingredients. I have some fresh basil, some fresh spinach, some lemons, some sweet red peppers, which I am going to chop up. I have some minced garlic, and of course my marinated artichokes. I have some pasta, bow-tie pasta that I have cooked and drained, and it's ready to go. Some olive oil for sauteing, and yes, let's go. Next, I am going to prepare one of the most important ingredients in this pasta, which is the lemon zest. I am going to make sure that I get all of the lemon peel off of these lemons. However, you want to make sure that you don't get a lot of the white stringy part, because that can actually make your zest really bitter, and you don't want bitter zest at all. You just want it to be simply nice and zesty. Now I'm going to make sure that I get all of my lemon shavings out of my graters, because of course I am going to use every bit of it. Next, I am simply going to make my lemon juice, which is another very important ingredient in your lemon artichoke pasta. I'm simply just going to use my juicer, cut the lemons in half, and I am going to use all of the juice of these lemons. The juice, it was about, I'll say almost half a cup, really close to a cup of lemon juice that I got from all 3 lemons. And there it is. I would say that's almost about half a cup of lemon juice. Next, I'm just going to throw my artichokes in a fryer or a saute pan with some olive oil. Now, as you know, if you've had artichokes before, they can be very chewy, similar to crab meat. And so I didn't want a very chewy texture this time, so I'm just going to saute my artichokes until they get really tender. Next, I'm going to put in my garlic. Now, I would say this is about maybe a teaspoon of garlic. I like garlic a lot, so I use a lot of garlic. But if you don't like a lot of garlic, you don't need to put a lot of garlic in your pasta. You also want to make sure that you continue to move and stir that garlic up so that it doesn't burn, because you don't want burnt or charred garlic. Next, I'm going to put in those chopped red peppers. Now, I am just going to saute my peppers until they get tender, nice and tender peppers. I don't want crunchy peppers in my pasta. That just wouldn't be good. Now let's go ahead and toss in our bow ties. Now you can use as much pasta if you want here. I wanted a big dish. I wanted some leftovers because again, I don't cook every day of the week. So I actually put a lot of pasta in here. Now, because I am putting a lot of pasta, when it's time to add my lemon juice and lemon zest, I am going to use all of the lemon juice because I want it to coat the pasta really well. As you know, pasta can be really bland and have a really strong flavor. I'm going to also add just a little bit more olive oil here so that I can get a good saute and saute my pasta till it's nice and tender, and also so that my vegetables don't burn. I'm going to toss in my spinach, and I used about maybe a whole bag of spinach. As you know, as spinach cooks, it shrinks and it seems like you don't have any spinach, so I used a whole bag of spinach here. Now, as you see, I am pouring in my lemon juice, and as stated before, I am going to use all of that lemon juice because I want to make sure that my pasta is coated well and I have a nice, very rich lemon flavor. Now we're going to throw in our lemon zest, and I actually use a lot of the lemon zest again because I want it to be very zesty. I did, however, manage to save some at the end to garnish, just to top off my pasta when it was complete. Let's go ahead and toss in our basil. Stir up everything so it gets nice and mixed well. I am going to put in my spices. I have some sea salt, pepper, cracked pepper. I also put a little Italian seasoning and a little dried basil as well. And again, everything is to taste, you guys. Just taste your food throughout and see if you need to add a little bit more seasoning. And of course, I am being obsessive with the lemon zest and adding more. Now with this dish, I wanted some lazy garlic knots, and I am going to show you guys how I made those using Pillsbury croissants. Now they are actually vegan, but make sure that you check those ingredients and not pick up anything that's not vegan. Now I simply just tore the dough apart and rolled it into little balls. I made about 6 balls or 6 garlic knots from the dough that was in the can. Now I am going to set my stove to preheat at 375, which is the same you would do if you were cooking the regular croissants. While that's preheating, I melted some vegan butter simply in the microwave, and I'm going to pour that on top of my garlic knots. Then I'm going to shake a little garlic powder on them for some seasoning. And I am going to shake a little Italian seasoning. And I'm just going to bake those according to the ingredients. And there they are. Nice, simple, lazy garlic knots. And I'm going to use that and toss that on the side of my pasta. And there it is with a little bit more zest, for more zesty zest, lemony artichoke pasta. And there it is, a simply totally good, totally vegan lemon artichoke pasta. Thank you for watching.